I'm Dr. JB McCarthy. I'm one of the co-program directors for the Masters in Business Analytics. I have two other colleagues, Dr. Stephen McCarthy and Professor David Salmon, who are the other two co-program directors. So we have, three program directors. We have a lot of students on this master's program. So it's a very exciting program, and it seems to have a lot of traction with industry as well, because it's seen to be a core skill for a lot of graduates now that are moving into industry. So we go on to the next slide, please. So the Masters in Business Analytics provides students with a portfolio of business and analytical methods. And this portfolio is going to change as required with business and as tools and technologies change as well. So we're changing that, because the problems that the organizations you might join they're changing as well. And how you solve a problem is really situational. So there isn't just one way. If you go and talk to a consulting firm and you want to put in a new system or a new application, they can give you multiple different answers. So do you want it done quickly? Do you want it done without any risk? Do you want to do it step by step? Do you want the latest and greatest? All of those have different timelines. All of those have different costs. All of those has different approaches for your organization. So the same with analytics. A lot of the analytics problems, are analytics problems that you might consider or you might hit during your working life. There maybe is a very quick and simple solution that will give you a big bang for the buck. Or if you want to need everything, then and you need to make sure that you have all the data. Maybe there's a lot of data to be collected. It's going to cost an awful lot more. Maybe it's going to make it way more complex, bigger problem to solve, more compute power, more technology involved, more people involved. So understanding and sizing the solution, to fit the problem that you think is worth solving is going to be really important. And we're getting people to talk through that and walk through that so they understand what they're doing, why they're doing, how much it's going to solve. And is that the right solution for your organization? Next slide, please. So I mentioned we provide students with a portfolio of business analytical methods, and then these graduates, it's to provide the students with the skill set to be successful in such roles as a data analyst or a business analyst, or sometimes a reporting analyst. So the name might have very different connotations in different organizations, but you need to understand the problem to be able to come up with some kind of a solution to provide information or insights or reports or analysis back to management. Include project manager, because a lot of the same skills help break down a problem to be able to manage that problem through to completion. And these types of roles, these multi-skills, these hybrid type roles, because all of the people joining the master's program will have an undergraduate in some area, which might not be a business area, but these hybrid skill sets are really interesting for some industries, some industry verticals. So it's designed for students who want to build a career in analytics, and this program combines practical experience, industry insight, and a strong career pathway, because you can tune the program or tune your projects as well, maybe to target an industry that you are interested in getting into. Next slide, please. So the problem and solution focus. So if you look at this on the left-hand side, we've got this problem focus, and we're exploring a problem. We're understanding the problem. We're defining the problem. And again, we can decide to try and pitch that maybe it's worth solving all the problem, or maybe a part of the problem. Are you going to break it up into multiple different pieces? And that's going to guide your view as to what your solution focus is going to be. Because while you're building, you're designing, you're evaluating. So you're going through this iterative solution, that's lining up a solution to solve the problem that you're targeting or that you're refining. It's not just one shot and done. And this is one of the techniques that we certainly try and incorporate into the research project part of the master's program, which is 1/3. It's 30 credits, and that runs on right through the semester 3 and during the summer. So they have a problem focus, and it is an iterative build right through semester 2 and semester 3 while they're refining the solution and clarifying what they can deliver for the solution. So the solution focus might change. It might get broader or it might get smaller. Next slide, please. So when we have students that are considering the program, one of the typical questions I think is, oh, my background isn't IT, or I don't know how to code, or I'm not a techie person, or what am I going to be doing, or is it very tech heavy? And it's not the case. So we look for people to have some element of some kind of numerative or quantitative or technical module someplace in their undergraduate, but that's it. Apart from that, you can build from there. So while we're building those elements of the skills that you need, okay, so we're building, giving you a skill set, giving you a tool set and an approach, but it's that mindset of how to categorize the problem, segment the problem, okay, and break it up into manageable chunks. And we have lots of different techniques to help you with that. So for these students, okay, so the lectures really start at a beginner's level. Some people will have done some of these elements before, but we're starting at a beginner's level. There's tutorials, which then are really useful. Other self-paced online resources, which people can learn at their own pace, and then the student licenses for digital platforms like Power BI, or showing people how to get like online with Tableau or Streamlit. Next slide, please. So here's just one of our previous students from the 23-24 cohort. She was a class rep, went on to do an Ignite startup afterwards, and a peer lead supporting other students. And her undergraduate was Commerce International with Chinese Studies, so not a technical undergraduate at all, and is now working in Verizon in Limerick. Next slide, please. So yeah, what's this course made up of? What's this program made up? So on the left-hand side, I've got the thought modules, but there's also a 30 credit research module. But you can see some of these are really focused on, business forecasting, AI, design thinking, which really helps people understand the problem and design the solution in a very graphical, easy to understand way. Business data analytics and visualization, predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics, emerging topics, because this is a very fast moving area. Python for business analytics. Sustainability, it's a hot area, and a lot of organizations have reporting challenges because there's a lot of mandates coming through from the European Union and other global bodies that are driving sustainability type reports. Data analytics for the business enterprise, the practical application of business analytics. But we are putting in a new module for next year on agentic AI, and that will be a part of the research projects. You'll be expected to develop an agentic AI component that will fit into the large research project, which is the other 30 credits. The other 30 credits, it starts very slowly in semester 1, just looking at problem areas and looking at open data sets and trying to get people to look at areas that might excite them. So we get the individuals to come up with exciting areas, and then during semester 1, all of the class, they all present kind of ideas that they would like to consider for a group project. And then we move on in semester 2, the groups are formed, and those 5 or 6 people will decide on what's the group project. So they can come up with a new area, or it could be one of the ideas they've come up with, the 5 or 6 different people. And then that's iterated on during semester 2 and semester 3. But just how do we do that? Okay, so we have this focus on here on the right hand side, okay, about reading, drawing, talking, okay? And it's learning by doing, okay? So you're seeking clarity, okay, because it's not there to begin with. You're building confidence, you're exploring ideas, you're finding voice. So as individuals and as groups, we have lots of different presentations, getting people to stand up and present an update, okay, and what they had done last week or the 2 weeks before that, whatever the cycle is. And there's this designed, build, evaluate, iterative cycle. Okay, so it's this learning by doing. You're presenting, you're clarifying on what you did, okay, and you're moving on the design from week to week or every 2 weeks. So it's that reading, drawing, talking, okay, and the talking bit is the presenting bit, and people get so much better at that. And this is really important for industry, that you're not able to just do the technical work, but you're able to write it and present it to management, and as well as in verbally presented to management. So it's not just putting it in a report, being able to putting it in meaningful diagrams and present why you want to do what you want to do, because this is a commitment for your organization. They're going to put people and time and effort and resources into building reporting solutions. And this is a big commitment. Next slide, please. So here's a data value map, okay, Professor David Salmon. This is one of his artifacts, but this is a very simple one here. So we use this as a very iterative way to explain how you are looking or why you're looking at the project. On the left-hand side, we have data creators, which just might be open data sets, or there might be different people within an organization. On the very right, we have data users, okay, because those consumers or readers of the report might be very different people. And then we talk about how we acquire data, that acquisition process. And then there's integration of that data. So building that data into meaningful tables, okay? And then we're doing analysis, and there's all various different analytical models. And then how do we present that data in some kind of a dashboard or report or some kind of graphical interface that a team is going to use or an individual is going to use. So we use this in a very iterative way. And so we're looking at the business value at the top, and we're looking at the data behaviors at the bottom. So we're building better data behaviors. And so we know how much or where the business is seeing the value of this initiative. And we talk about different types of analytics as well. Descriptive analytics, this is kind of what has happened, kind of historical stuff. How much sales did we make last quarter? Diagnostic analytics, maybe it's, okay, why did costs go up last quarter? So you're trying to understand costs from last quarter to this quarter. What were the different reasons? Predictive analytics. So now you're trying to figure out, okay, where do you think sales are going to go? And that's using machine learning and other techniques. And then prescriptive analytics, where you're trying to figure out, okay, maybe there's some kind of a constraint, okay, around capacity to use a machine, or some kind of resource or cost of fuel or distance or time. And you're trying to figure out what's the best solution that to consider here. So you're using a prescriptive analytics type approach to help you with making that decision. Next slide, please. And here is just some real world projects. Okay, so students have come up with their own projects looking at various different open data sets. And so predictive analytics for reducing hospital outpatient waiting lists in Ireland, maximizing operational efficiency in the healthcare industry using predictive analytics, advanced regional intelligence surge, emergencies, various other ones, carbon aware, enterprise size, trade intensity and resource efficiency in Irish enterprises. So lots of different ones, for-profit and not-for-profit areas on the right-hand side that the students pitch using open data sets to make it easy to get that data. And then we assign industry mentors, and those mentors coming from organizations on the left-hand side, Deloitte, Accenture, EY, Grant Thornton, Dell, Leia Healthcare, ACI Worldwide, Google, Rialta, Glanbia. Okay, and each of those student groups of 5 or 6 students will have an industry mentor to give them feedback on their approach and on their presentations and on their reports. So this is really useful and gets the students used to what is expected from industry. So it's not just their lecturers telling them they need to be at such and such a level or such a level of performance. The industry mentors are telling them that and reinforcing that for them. Next slide, please. And here are the contact names, or you can contact Mairead as well, obviously. But the 3 email addresses for the co-program directors are here. Over to you, Mairead.
Fabulous. Yeah, we have 1 minute, so you're great in time. If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the chat. But yeah, I think it really kind of changed that perception maybe of like, you know, when you think data, you think behind closed doors, just crunching the numbers, but it's really giving people the skills to put them front and center to solve problems for companies, and that's all you encounter when you're in companies is problems. Like every day is problems, so it's giving them everything they need to analyze it and figure out
Absolutely.
the
Yeah, those
solutions.
problems are going to be assigned with those company goals or corporate goals, whether they're a not-for-profit or whether they're a for-profit company. And they're, yeah, focused on serving customers or saving money or generating more sales or whatever that initiative might be.
Fantastic. Okay, thanks, JV. We'll let you go